Yep, what's up guys, Trick here, and I see you've clicked on the secret dungeon, or the hidden dungeon, all about farming the spell pages that you need for the Nitro Cube. So, I'm going to show you everything you need to know on that. So, here we go. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the second hidden dungeon, which I like to label as the secret dungeon. And every continent past the second continent, so the first one doesn't have it, has its form of the secret dungeon. And in this case, Barbaghezi Horde was the money dungeon, and Heretic Island for the third continent is the secret dungeon. And it functions in a lot of ways the same way as the money dungeon. But the differences come in the fact that not every mob drops money, and really what you want to do, there are significantly longer. The money dungeons are designed to be very short. These are designed to actually be little dungeons, you know, so if you didn't know, the game actually freezes all item pickups right at the start for at least 10 seconds. But anyway, they actually function as smaller, not necessarily hard dungeons, but small mini dungeons that actually require a bit of time to complete. Here you can see not every mob drops gold anymore, and the gold that they do drop is not that high. It's 300 gold. So, but trust me guys, it is still to your best interest to do these dungeons, secret dungeons, only when you have the money buff, because you're going to be missing out on a lot of money, and the money that you get from here doesn't come from mobs. It comes from finishing the dungeon. So you're going to get a ton of gold, you can see, from the final bonus chest that you get at the end of this dungeon. And that is really what we're doing this dungeon for. It does have to do with the Nitro Cube if we get lucky enough to get it. So I do have a little bit to explain on that when it comes down to it. So you can see it does kind of function as a normal type of dungeon. It corresponds with what level you are, so it changes. So the enemies that spawn in the dungeon will be corresponding with your level. So in fact, you could technically level in these dungeons. So I wouldn't say they give the best EXP, but say you had a quest in a dungeon that you didn't want to do, right? But the dungeons in the secret dungeon are the same enemies that spawn in the dungeon that you're doing. You can jump into this secret dungeon and still get a lot of EXP, and as you can see here, finish off the boss that is for that dungeon, and it will count towards your quest. So here it's gonna spawn me randomly a level 46 dungeon because I'm already at max level, one of 4 dungeons, and it's gonna give me Bardus boss. And this Bardus is just the same as any Bardus that you'd get for actually completing the dungeon. So especially in the second content, you can notice this effect more clearly. But say you're farming for these things or don't want to complete the dungeon fully, you can do the secret dungeon. But the real reason for doing the secret dungeon is that chest over there. You can see it's that gray or black thing. That's where the chest is going to spawn. But Bartus is getting close to dying here. Pretty lax dungeon, I would say. It's a pretty lax secret dungeon. Actually, all secret dungeons are like this, but this is why you wanted to finish it off. Not only, this is the first time I've done the Treasure Island Expedition dungeon, or this secret dungeon I like to call. The boss himself drops gold all the time. He can drop a significant amount of gold. Here you can see I've got 1,000 and 500s, a whole bunch of those. That's the reason why you want to have the money buff activated also when you do these dungeons. But he always drops some hell pieces, which is always nice to have when you complete a dungeon. It treats something as easy as a normal dungeon, because this is like normal difficulty, it's not very hard, and treats it like a master level dungeon, which is the only way you could get the hell pieces beforehand. But this is what we're talking about here, guys. You open this up and it drops a bunch of stuff, mostly crafting stuff, and we didn't get the thing I was looking for, but I will show it because I have gotten it before. Get a bunch of gold chunks, silver chunks, Bellflower roots, and in the case of third continent, you can get Ginseng, right, for the job change quest. Now, there is another item called the remodeling book, or page of the remodeling book, and I will be showing off that right now, actually. Alright guys, so this is what a remodeling spell page looks like. You can get up to 10 from them, those chests, I think, or even higher than that. That's what I got when I got it. So you need 30 for the remodeling spell book that you can use in the Nitro Cube. So next we'll be talking about the Nitro Cube.